but this last year, the games market in the UK was worth £1.92 billion.
Queued up overnight, like...
For 4 days, they queued up.
4 days. Camping out. Would you ever camp out for 4 days for a computer
for the game?
Yeah.
What would you camp out 4 days for?
Brain trainer! New edition!
I'd camp out for 4 days if I was going camping.
I read a sentence like, oh, the great thing about this game is you can live stream multiplayer games in real time to YouTube. It took me longer to understand that sentence than it will for them to complete the whole game. What that basically implies is that you could watch other people playing a computer game online. People are actually going to log on and go, what are you doing? I'm watching a Peruvian kid play a Russian kid at a shooting game. I'm leaving you.
Well, the funny thing's also got Nazi zombies in it, apparently.
It's got Nazi zombies?
Yeah, so, and I'm not sure where they come in and how they come in. I mean, if something's risen from the grave and is about to eat my brain, I don't really care about their ideology.
I was playing a Japanese gentleman at FIFA, and he didn't speak any English throughout the whole contest. It was me versus him. He beat me 9-0. 9-0. And all the way through, he was talking Japanese. And at the end, when I said, well, thank you very much, I got a well and truly deserved spanking. And he just said, hey, Mr. English, fuck you!
Let's have a look and see if it's up there. Wow. Yes, the new Call of Duty computer game has been released. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is the most exciting, futuristic, slick, engrossing, brutal, Hollywood-produced reason you're still a virgin at 30 ever. Most British people judge others by their accent, true or false? What do you think, Henning? Do you think people judge you? Because you've got a bit of an accent, haven't you?
I've got a bit of an accent. Definitely, there is a certain degree of judgment. I recently did a gig up in Bolton, and I got heckled with that wonderful line, fuck off back to London. 10 years of listening to Chaz and Dave finally paid off.
Sean, what do you think? Do you think British people judge others on their accent?
Oh, well, I judge people long before they've opened their mouths. So
Saves a lot of time, doesn't it?
Straight in there.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting because, yeah, everyone, you know, there's a sort of, what's the word? A contingency in your voice, and it moves around, and you can change certain things. But the only really way you know how someone speaks is when they sneeze. And that's the true voice. You can't put on a sneeze. I was walking down the street, and I lived in East London, and there was this old Cockney walking along in front of me, like this. And then he was building up to a sneeze, and he actually went, hey. And he went, hey, choo! I thought, that's a Cockney sneeze. You couldn't put that on.
No, you couldn't. That's a natural noise.
My wife does a terrible thing. She doesn't give you any warning. She just goes, choo!
Well, there's
Nothing, no warning. Just sitting there, choo! Oh, shit! They've been shot.
Johnny, do you think anyone ever judges you by your accent?
Yeah, of course you do.
It's not your accent, Johnny. It's the you talk.
I know that I'm judged by my accent because there's certain letters, there's certain vowels that I miss out.
There's whole words you miss.
You know, like, sorry, Jimmy, when I run over you later.
John, 81% of people admit changing their voice depending on who they're talking to. Do you do that? You change your accent?
No, James. I acquire accents quite quickly. And if I do gigs, if I go to a town, I instantly start thinking in the voice of where I am.
Does that not sound like you're taking the piss, though?
Exactly. If I've been doing gigs in Newcastle and you sort of go to a club after and you go, oh, cheers, mate, and you say, oh, fuck. You get the shit kicked out of me.
I'm no good at accents, but I can do them if I've got key phrases. So if I'm trying to do Scouse, if I'm trying to do a Liverpool accent, I have to say, I want some chicken and a can of Coke.
Hey, that's not bad, then.
Before I can start. And I can do Belfast, but only if I say, Ginger and Community. All right, so what do you think? Let's get some answers on this. Most Brits judge people by their accent, true or false? What do you think, Sean?
True.
You're going to go true? What are you going to say, John?
True.
I can tell you the answer is false. Only 25% of Brits say they judge people by their accents.
Rubbish.
Over generations, our accents become hardwired into our brains. For example, Chinese people find it difficult to pronounce R's, Germans struggle with W's, and girls from Essex find it almost impossible to say no. What do you prefer, home cooking or fancy restaurants?
It's got to be home cooking.
It's got to be home
It's got to be
cooking.
home cooking. Otherwise, I'm out of a job.
How many of the recipes that you've cooked on telly do you think people have done at home?
What are you saying?
I watch your shows, but I don't bake muffins. That's all I'm saying.
I've done one of
Hello.
these.
No, look.
I'm leaping in here.
Lots of people cook. He cooks my recipes. I cook my recipes.
Yeah. I've made recipes.
What does that
And
say?
they're lovely.
I mean, the thing is, I don't think it's about fancy restaurants anymore, is it? People don't really like fancy restaurants. They want some, like, nice home cooking or just like a steakhouse or something.
OK, well, John, how do you cook at home? How do you prepare a meal?
Oh, you spend your afternoon with a little bottle of wine doing your prep, don't you? You get it all in your little bowls and your jars.
Do you really? You spend the whole day cooking it?
Absolutely. And don't have people around either, they'll ruin it.
Pesto. I make the best pesto going. I should have it in jars in restaurants.
No, he was very proud. He told me about his pesto he cooked, and he's very proud of his pesto.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to make pesto, he'll end up with a massive company.
Some people call a fancied restaurant the difference. For some people, like, you know, who eat at KFC, going to Nando's is like, ooh. Nando's is basically KFC for people who can use a knife and fork, isn't it?
Worst thing about guests staying overnight?
The other thing is when you stay at someone's house and they don't tell you straight away what the weird things about their house are. Just say, you cannot flush the toilet unless you stand on that floorboard and sing Oklahoma. Because otherwise you're in there at 3 o'clock in the morning still trying, and you know they can hear you. They heard you the first time when it didn't quite flush. They didn't come out, they just left you in there all night pulling the thing, and I had to wait a little bit longer, but now it's empty again. I've got to stand in here for 20 more frigging minutes trying to flush this piss away when I had an half-an-hour debate whether it was ruder to leave the piss in but not wake them up with a flush, and now I've pulled the flush. You asked the fucking question.
Because you're quite fastidious. I imagine you don't like people using your stuff.
I don't mind them when I give them stuff. Don't help yourself to stuff. I mean, make yourself at home, that's a cliche, isn't it? You say it, but you don't mean it. Like, if you say make yourself at home and someone starts making themselves a cup of tea, you think, well, what are you doing? Get out of my cupboards, that's not where the tea's kept. Right, I'll make you a cup of tea. When I said make yourself at home, I meant sit down and shut up.